Hey Regina, this is Zach Moore, and you're listening to the Patscast with Chris and Kevin.
Babcock, headman pass. Kuzma over the blue line for Regina. Left wing side, backhands it up top. Fawcett shoots, scores! Deflected home by Anthony Wilson. Picks up his team-leading 6th goal this season in career game number 200. Chance up top again. Butchkowski, right side, one-timer, Babcock, it's blocked. Rebound! Scores! Tanner Howe! And this Regina Pats bench is absolutely pumped up! Big hit by Clausen as Ellen goes into the bench. Now in the slot area, it's Wilson who shoots. Stop, rebound in front, scores! Cameron Kuzma with his first career Western Hockey League goal. Grab that puck! In behind the net, Braxton Whitehead. Working along the net. Centering pass, scores! Braxton Whitehead sets up Connor Bear. He's got goals in back-to-back games.
Welcome to Patscast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. It's episode 183. It's November 17th. Chris here, Kevin there. How we doing tonight, Kev?
We're doing okay. It's been a little bit of a week.
Quite the week, yep.
Yes. I was trying to be nice. A little bit of a week turned into a massive week in Pat's 2024-25 history.
All sorts of things happening. Everything's happening right now this week.
It's all happening. The meme, it's happening from The Office.
The Office, yeah. Oh my God, it's happening. Yeah, everything's happening. Yeah, it was quite the week, that's for sure.
And it's definitely not over because there's still definitely going to be some more moves.
Yeah, still some more dominoes to fall.
Yep.
Unfortunately, yeah, there's some issues going on, but yeah. I mean, on the ice, good weekend.
Yeah.
Despite all that stuff off the ice, like you got to take into consideration
weekend. Yes.
What's going on off the ice for the team to pick up 3 points in Brandon and almost had 4.
Almost.
So you can't argue with that. So that's impressive to say the least. Yeah, I guess we'll start with all this off ice stuff. First, it started with a trade.
The first trade.
The first one, yeah. Another Zach joining the crew. Zach Pantelakis. I don't know.
Pantelakis.
There we go. So right from the get-go, you're kind of thinking like, oh, another 17. That's a lot of 17s. That's first thought, I thought.
A lot of 17s.
Yeah.
And it brought our forwards to what, I think it was 16 at the time.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of forwards. a lot of skaters, a lot of forwards. It's like, what is going on? But
yeah.
Now the Pats have 4 Zachs.
Yeah.
They're all good. It's going to be Team Zach. Instead of the Pats, it's going to be the Zachs.
Yeah, no doubt. So he comes in for a couple picks. What's it? 2 fifths.
A fifth and 27 and a fifth and 28.
Yeah. So nothing too crazy. But yeah, he's only got a goal and 3 assists in 15 games this season. So, but yeah, I mean, bringing him some fresh blood, some new guys, some new talent here. See what's they can shake out of him. I think
from what I've heard, he's a good skater. He's a quick, good skater. So,
all right,
the Pats need a little more speed, probably. He's not super big. He's not super small. So
yeah,
he kind of fits the mold of many of the Pats already. So
yeah,
hopefully he'll fit in when he gets back.
Yeah. So I don't know when he's getting back because Dante mentioned on Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday, that he's got an upper body injury. So not too sure when he'll get into game action for the Pats. But yeah, so. You get that guy coming in, and then kind of the maybe the reason why they brought him in is Corbin Allman and the Pats have parted ways, and we see that he had signed with Vernon Vipers of the BCHL. So that kind of move makes a little more sense. Mind you still have a lot of 17s, especially in that forward group.
Yep.
You've got 6 signed in that forward group, 4 on the team. currently. So, but you can't get any younger. 17 is the youngest you can bring in on a trade. But yeah, so Allman is gone, and Panta, I guess, takes his spot, kind of basically
when he gets healthy.
When he gets back, yeah. But yeah, so I mean, Allman, we didn't mention it. Allman hadn't dressed in a few games.
Yeah.
So obviously, we're not too sure what the situation was there, but yeah.
No,
I mean,
maybe we kind of know. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right.
Exactly. I don't know what to say because don't really know the whole details of anything. All of a sudden, he signed in Vernon.
Yeah, exactly. So he's moved on, or the team moved on from him. Not too sure which way it went, but either way, he's gone, and Pats have a new body, hoping to be in there soon. Then the next deal was Brendan Dunphy.
A couple days later,
a USA prospects draftee that Wenatchee picked up. So kind of almost Dunphy for Egeland, kind of almost like a swap. Two guys that were not signed and went the other way. Dunphy, I don't think has signed. I haven't noticed anything. So I don't know.
That I've seen. No.
Yeah. So I don't know if he's jumping at the bit to sign with them or not. But I know I heard
from the Wenatchee's press release. It says he went from the Pats college list to their college list. So
yeah. So
we'll see from there.
Yeah. And I know I heard an interview with Egeland that he mentioned wasn't too interested in going all the way to Wenatchee, and the college rule change did affect his decision. So, but yeah, so basically a list, or not a list, but a guy on your list for another guy on your list, so.
Yeah, and the fact that Dunphy wasn't even drafted by the Pats or anything, he's just he was a listed player.
Oh, was he? I thought it was a USA draft.
No, he didn't get drafted.
Oh, my apologies. I thought
he was an addition. He was listed.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So yeah, even better.
Yeah, he's got some size. He was at camp. I don't know, when he was 16, I think. He had some size. He looked like he was pretty decent. So hopefully he decides to sign in Wenatchee and does a good career.
Yeah, good for him then. If that kind of floats his boat, Wenatchee staying in the States and stuff. So and then Friday rolls around, and like I said, there was a couple guys missing on the roster, on the lineup sheet, and both Vaughns, and that I think that raised quite a few eyebrows. And
my text messages were going wild. My messenger and messages were like, "Where are the Vaughns? Where are the Vaughns? Where's Vaughns? What's going on?" I don't know.
Yeah, to see both out, it was weird, right? Like,
yep.
Okay, one's out. Yeah, sure. Okay, injury or whatever. But to see both out, that was weird. And then,
but before you get too far, and seeing the lineups where you have Whitehead and Spencer on the fourth line, I thought maybe there was like a flu bug or some sort of illness going through the team.
Because they had listed an extra forward too, right? They had an extra forward listed, so you knew somebody was questionable up front. Yeah, and stuff. So yeah, it was like, I seen Spencer
I thought maybe
on the fourth
someone
line.
Was sick.
Yeah.
Or they were sick. Who knows? Like, you never know. The hockey teams tend to go through.
I know.
Bugs every
and
year.
Stuff runs through the team, right?
Yeah.
So it's, and then I was like, oh, I seen Spencer, and then the 13th forward was right underneath him. I'm like, oh, is Spencer, questionable? And then I was like, oh, Whitehead's beside him on the fourth line, like, I don't know, quote unquote fourth line, the fourth listed, right?
They were down on the posted depth chart.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they didn't play fourth line minutes.
Definitely not. They played quite a bit. They were pretty noticeable.
Yeah,
in both games.
So it was just weird. But then obviously the announcement on Saturday's game at the intermission, and Alan Miller came out, and nice to see some transparency, some clarity on what the situation was, and obviously there was so many people wondering what's going on, right?
and the keyboard warriors and rumors flying everywhere.
The rumors are the rumors, right? Like, we're not going to get into any of that stuff. We're just
nope.
going to talk about what Miller said.
Exactly.
Obviously, he said there's an incident with Corbin Vaughn, and he was suspended from the team, and he's at home awaiting a trade. And obviously, Jackson, being his brother, is not interested in sticking with the Pats, and so they were able to accommodate a trade for him already, off to Everett for a first and Caden Brown, 2005 forward. So
a former first-round pick in his own right.
Yes. So I think that's a pretty solid return.
Yes, it was kind of an unbelievable trade, I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I would never have even imagined getting a first and a 19 for Jackson.
A solid player, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. The Pats winning some trades lately, right? Like,
albeit Brown is a little older.
Yeah.
But the first round pick and a player for Jackson.
And a player? Yeah.
Like, I'm sure people have watched the Pats this year, know that both Vaughns just didn't seem to be themselves. I don't know if the league got on them because of their physical play last year or what, because both of them seem to be, I don't know, holding back.
Tentative,
holding back. I don't know what it is, because like they were last year when they were crashing and smashing and crushing and just smoking everybody off.
Yeah, like they played.
They were awesome.
Yeah, I really like their game, but obviously with the suspensions and they have multiple, and obviously, like you said, the league has probably talked to them and said, "Hey, you guys got to tone this down, right?" Like, because
exactly
the next one is going to be, the next suspension is going to be lengthy, right? And and I know that last game in Regina against Brandon, I thought Corbin was just he just didn't. I don't want to say he didn't have it, but he just didn't. He didn't look himself. Like I didn't think he looked himself at all. It
seems like neither one of them seemed like they were themselves.
Yeah, and I mean Jackson, man, he like, how many goals did he have in the back half? Like, he had 12 total last year, and I bet you like 8 were in the back half.
He had a really strong second half.
I know. I was thinking he could push maybe 20 goals this year, and like to only have 2 so far, I was like, maybe 5, 6. I probably could have thought he'd have by now, because we're at the 3rd mark of the season pretty much. So
pretty close, yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to say I was disappointed in them, but I was hoping for more from them this year.
Oh yeah, they're not the only ones that seem to be. We can't really say they're underperforming expectations. It's because maybe we set the bar a little too high for a lot of the players.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever happened.
Yeah.
And now Jackson is gone. Good luck in Everett, going from the basement to the penthouse, basically.
Yeah. I mean,
hopefully
can be a great addition for them, right?
Hopefully he can get his game on track and smash some bodies, score some goals, get drafted or get another pro shot. Same with Corbin. Like, hopefully everything works out, that he gets traded or whatever happens, ends up somewhere else, plays up to his potential, gets drafted, whatever, gets signed. I want to see them. I want to see them do well.
Yeah, I was like, we both were big fans of both of them. Like, their game, like still bringing that physicality.
I love the old school style, but
but obviously it did
the
get him in
league's
trouble.
not ready for it.
Yeah, right.
The new league, or the league the way it is not ready for their style.
It's not even the WHL anymore. You look like, I just sent you that hit in an NFL. The guy hits this guy right square in the chest with his shoulder. No helmet to helmet. No targeting with his helmet to the guy's chest. It was straight shoulder to chest in the end zone, and he gets flagged for it. Like the NFL, you think, okay, well, this is still a man's league, and big hits happen, but even the refs there are flagging this stuff, and then the coach loses it, and he gets a penalty on top of, the penalty from the player. Like, it's kind of rough to see, because it was such a good hit, good clean hit,
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is. Times are changing. Plenty.
But like I said, good luck to both of them.
Yeah.
Wherever they end up. I'm glad the Pats were able to accommodate this situation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speculate on any of the other stuff that's going on that people are talking about all over the internet. It's like blah, 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 blah. It's like, shut up. Quit being keyboard warriors. Stuff happens.
These are just
the
kids.
Team is, they're kids. Like,
you don't need to
the team,
get into details, like, or
exactly
what you think
speculation,
are the details. Yeah.
Speculation, rumors, hearing things second, third, fourth hand. It's just, come on. And welcome Caden Brown to the Pats.
Yeah.
Welcome Zach Penelakis when he gets back. I hope he's back soon because I want to see this kid play. Because, like I said, I heard he's skilled and got some speed. Brown, former first rounder, 18 goals 2 years ago. Looks like he missed half of last season with an injury. I don't know. Didn't really look into that closely, but he's still at 25 points in 37 games.
Yeah, and then he's got
that's good numbers.
Yeah, he's got 4 goals, 4 assists in 14 games this year. So
yeah,
maybe he can bring some skill, some added skill to this team. A different look, like I said, change it up a little bit, some fresh blood in here, and maybe get some other guys going too. Who knows, right?
Yeah, for sure. Before more wheeling and dealing happens, because we expect a couple. We're expecting Corbin to get traded because Al basically said he's looking to trade him.
Yeah,
and we're expecting probably one more move for sure.
Yeah, and I mean the way Al's doing things, like I'm sure there's going to be, at the trade deadline, there's probably going to be a few moves, right? So
yeah. And it seems like Al likes to get the deals done early. Like, look at Berg last year. They traded him in what was it, November?
Yeah, when was that? I don't recall offhand, but
it was quite a bit before the deadline.
Yeah, it wasn't at the deadline. But yeah, I guess then we kind of lead into the Friday night game.
Let's rewind it back to the Friday night game.
So before we get to the on ice again, 5,000th game in regular season game in Pat's history. That's quite the number, right? Everybody loves round numbers, and but like 5,000, that's a lot of games. You put out a great article on the Pat's website, kind of covering a little bit of the history, going back to the start. And
I didn't know where to go with that, so I just kind of put a few things out there.
No, it was good. It wasn't like too crazy long where you'd be like,
I could have went for days.
That's what I mean. You could have went forever, right? So just to pare it down,
just a few. A few key moments, a few key games, a few key players. Talk about the leaders and stuff like that. So just kind of covered a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah, that Berg trade was New Year's Eve.
Oh, that was New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it was. So same with the Suzdalev deal. They were both New Year's Eve. Remember?
Okay.
It was a wild day, but
I had a cramp there.
No, I knew it wasn't at the deadline, but I mean that's only 10 days before the deadline. But
for some reason, I thought it was November. Oh well.
Yeah. Anyways, but 5,000 games. That's now. Do you know that I should have told you this beforehand or asked you this beforehand? What's the total games, playoffs, and included? Do you know that offhand?
Give me a sec. I can find that.
Yeah, because that's 5,000 is only regular season games. But yeah, that's a lot number, and like you said in your article, back in the early
852 playoff games.
852, so almost 1,000 playoff games.
Yeah.
Back in the 19 teens and 20s, there was only
and 30s.
There was only a handful of games. Yeah.
Yeah. Some seasons it was literally 2 games.
Yeah. So, but obviously now you're playing 68 games a season. So
at one point in time they were playing 72.
72. Yeah.
So like a majority of the games are Western Hockey League games.
Yeah.
Because they played their first game in the Western Hockey League. It was 994, I believe I wrote.
Okay.
So basically
4,000.
Over 4,000 games in the Western Hockey League.
Yeah.
Well, not quite, because they did leave 2 seasons in there.
Yeah.
They went to the SJHL. So, but it's quite a few games.
No,
it's the majority of them here.
Yeah, no, so that's interesting. Obviously, the team is the oldest junior team, and these numbers are going to come up first for the Pats and stuff. So it's neat, but it's cool that you got all these details down. And
I try.
yeah. Anyway, so onto the ice. Let's talk about on ice stuff, because that's what we should talk about, especially with the good weekend that they had. And just these kind of games that can maybe blend together a little bit. And the first thing that jumps off the page is score the first goal in both games. Like,
yes,
they weren't chasing the game, right? Like,
yes,
we talked about they had a good game against Brandon here. It was a 3-2 game essentially, because of the 2 empty netters. But
yeah,
they were in that game, and going to Brandon. Okay, can you get 1 out of 2? And they get the 1 on Friday, so that was nice to see. And response is like, yeah, they get the early goal, Brandon scores, but Pats respond right away. So it was kind of nice to see that. Then Brandon scored a couple goals in a row, and then Howe was able to get one late in the third.
It's unbelievable how well they played with all the distractions off the ice.
Yes.
During this week, like, who knows how long this stuff's been going on before? Like, there might be stuff from before.
Yeah.
But for them to respond and actually, I thought these are 2 of their better games of the season.
Yeah, against a good Brandon team, right? You go in there for 2.
Saturday, not quite as good as Friday, but still, to go into Brandon, one of the teams that's should be run. Yeah.
2.
And for them to actually do as well as they did, I'm pretty happy. I can't complain about it.
Yeah, no, not at all. And then that overtime goal, what a pass by Temple. Like, he takes the shot and it gets blocked, and he's kind of down on one knee, and just to have the wherewithal to throw it over to Spencer, and Spencer had a wide open net basically, right? Like, great play. We talked before we started recording. Cole Temple, he's really looked a lot better this year. I think he's a lot more comfortable. Yeah, he hasn't scored.
Yeah, his game is starting.
But
his game is starting to turn around. I think
Yeah.
he's getting more confidence out there.
Yeah.
They're counting on him more, which is good.
Yeah,
Needs to, because he's the next one kind of thing, right? He's 17 next year, 18, 19. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, he was playing with Howe, and I can't remember who else on Saturday. Like, he was basically, that's top line, right? Like,
yeah,
so yeah, it's good to see him coming along. Pine had another solid game on Friday, and then Saturday, I think it was Huey's best game of the season.
it was one of Huey's best games, I think, as a Pat.
Yeah, there you go.
So the goaltending is definitely not letting the Pats down this last little stretch. Like, Huey hasn't played much at all, and for him, he hadn't played in what I think it was 7 or 8 games.
Yeah, it's been a while.
To come in and stop 40, and a lot of them were high quality, dangerous chances too. So
he made some really good saves.
Unfortunately, that long distance Ravendal shot, that kind of, I don't know how that got in, but it kind of floated in there and got past them. But
and then the overtime power play goal, he had no chance.
No, that was a given.
But yeah, it was nice to see him kind of respond. Unfortunately, he had to take the loss. But but he gave the Pats a chance to win. They got a point out of that game. So that was nice to see. And
I'm not.
Kuzma,
go ahead.
Scoring his first career goal. It's always nice to see.
Yes, that's awesome. I'm not usually one to harp on the officiating, but I thought the officiating in that game was pretty bad.
I didn't think it was
all the
great
way around
in both games.
Yeah,
it was kind of, both teams were not impressed by it. So when both teams are mad, it hasn't been the greatest game. But at least
exactly
Friday night, the power plays were even.
Yeah, Friday night the whistles were pretty much put away in most cases. But Saturday, just.
Yeah, no, Friday. Yeah, Marty Murray did take it was Friday night. Murray took the bench minor. Because he was not happy with a call or a non-call or whatever. But
wasn't it the face-off thing?
Or that too. Yeah, I can't remember.
I think because because I was watching the game on the Fire Stick, so I had to listen to Rob Mann.
Man, yeah.
No offense to Mann, but he mentioned, because you watch it on TV, it's hard to really pay attention to everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the way the rules are, I think you get the centerman gets 2 whatever warnings or a warning, and then the second one's a penalty. But for whatever reason, I don't think he got the second warning and they didn't give him a penalty. I don't know.
Okay.
They need to put a rule book out or something and tell us how the face-offs actually work, because sometimes a linesman will wave a guy out, and the next time you see them put their finger up, it's like, what is going on? Tell us what's going on.
And I think, like it was the warning system last year, and I thought they had changed it to back to the wave out system this year, but I don't know, right? So who knows? But yeah, and then like you said, Saturday night it wasn't great either. The penalties were essentially 4-0, or power plays were 4-0.
Pats had a 5-second power play.
Yeah, and so did Brandon. They had a 5-second power play.
It's like,
so essentially they were four power plays to none for Brandon, and it was kind of, both teams weren't happy still.
Yeah,
that on Saturday night as well. And then Brandon was able to convert on only one, and it was a penalty in overtime. It was a blatant,
100%.
It was 100%. A blatant interference.
It's probably saved a goal.
It was going to be a breakaway, so yeah. It is what it is. Because what was Friday night was Brandon was 1 for 2, Pats were 0 for 2. So nothing crazy there, but yeah. So, but generally, like I said, great weekend. 3 points.
Can't complain about that.
No,
especially with everything that's going on.
Yeah, you just add that to the to it.
A lot of teams probably would have caved under the pressure and just said, whatever.
Right. Yeah,
but maybe having the game or the back-to-back in Brandon helped.
Yeah,
they were together. They didn't come back home. They just stayed there.
Yeah,
maybe that helped them kind of build what they have now.
Yeah,
hopefully they can carry on.
Yep, and I think both these games, with being the back-to-back setup, it was chippy. That's for sure.
I love it.
Yeah.
I wish I would have been there live, because it's more intense watching it live than watching it on WHL live TV.
I know, it's
because unfortunately you don't get the in arena atmosphere. You don't get the noise. But when Whitehead scored on Saturday, was it Saturday he scored or Friday? Yeah. When he scored on Saturday, you could hear the crowd just freak. There was some Pats fans in the building.
Yes,
so
yes, I know
that was awesome.
Well. Yeah. To tie that game up in the second there. Yeah, I did notice that. I forgot about that, but yeah. It's interesting. There's Pats fans everywhere. They come out.
And they're not the keyboard warriors.
Yeah, they're actually going to the games.
That trash the Pats every second they can possibly trash them. I can't stand that. Like, okay, you don't like the Pats now. Whatever. Stop watching them. Stop talking about them. Like, leave it alone.
Yeah.
You're going to really, like, we already know that a lot of the fan base has been alienated by what's going on outside of this last week. We already know, like you can see by the amount of people in the stands.
Yeah.
But enough is enough. Quit complaining about the ticket prices, because it's the same thing every time there's a post. Tickets too expensive. Blah, blah, blah. Coaches got to go. Blah, blah, blah. Like, come on, stop it. Get a life. Go touch grass. Or pretty soon go touch snow. Go shovel some snow. Like, come on. I'm sorry. I got to. Like, either you're cheering for them or you're not. You have to remember, the players are 16 to 20-year-old kids. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, they have parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters that read social media. Like, come on, leave it alone.
Yeah, there's a lot of family on Facebook, on Twitter that I see.
Exactly.
Like, they're reading this stuff. Like, yeah.
Come on. Like, leave the rumors alone. Like, you hear something, so what?
Yeah.
Tell your friends. Who cares? Leave it off of social media, because it tends to snowball. I've been getting messages about stuff I don't know. Leave me alone. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
I do have a connection with the Pats. I have a connection with Dante and a few of the other ones, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't
Leave
want to
me
know
alone
either. Like,
about
I
this
don't.
stuff.
I just didn't. We're not these kids' friends. We're media. Yes, we talk to them, but we don't discuss any of this stuff. Like, you hear our
Exactly.
interviews, like,
Exactly. Like,
So,
come on.
we're not getting into
Enough
this
is
stuff.
enough.
Yeah. We're just
We
trying
don't need to hear every single post that the ticket's too expensive.
Yeah.
Clearly, it shows. Like I said, just look at the attendances, look at the crowds. I don't know what else to say about that part, but just every post, like, come on, the social media person's a social media person. They're not the ones that are in charge of the ticket prices.
Yeah.
Do you think the owners sit there and look at the social media posts?
No.
Probably not. The Pats people probably do, but
Yeah. There's nothing they can
what
do.
are they
about
going to
it.
do? You think they're going to all of a sudden slash the prices in half?
They'd be fired the next day.
Exactly. So it's like,
So, yeah. No, that's.
what do
yeah,
you do?
I know, right?
It's starting to get really
Yeah.
a little bit too much.
It's getting old.
It's like, oh yeah, they posted that 5,000th article on Facebook, and the first comment was about the ticket prices.
Jeez.
It's like, come on, like this team has been around since 1917.
Enjoy the history. Enjoy your article.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Complain to the Pats themselves. Email them. Whatever you do,
Yeah.
phone them. Stay off social media about that. Like it's getting sickening.
Yeah.
I want to read the posts. I see they put a sale out for ticket prices, or like the military one where they gave the deal or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like 27 comments or whatever it was. I can't remember what it was. And I know exactly what those comments are going to be.
Yeah.
So I just don't even click on them anymore.
No.
I'll like the article or like the post. Don't even read it anymore because it's just too much.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I'm probably going to offend a few of the listeners, but hey, whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. The Pats, I've been a Pats fan my whole life. I'm 45. I've been going to games since I was 44, for 44 years. So come on.
Yeah.
There has been bad times. There has been good times, ups and downs. So like, come on. Enough is enough.
Yeah. Anyways. So yeah.
I want to rant some more, but I'm going to not. I'm going to hold it down.
Yeah.
I want to call out certain people specifically, but I'm not going to.
But yeah, no, we got an interview coming up. Just a couple things I want to touch on before that. So obviously there's the top prospects game that they always have, and it was always CHL players only, 2 teams of CHL players. But now obviously there's it's going to be CHL, 1 team of CHL players versus the under 18 U.S. National Team Development Program. So that's kind of interesting. It's kind of ties in with the NCAA thing. Now you got CHL players playing against players that they aren't in the NCAA. They're probably going there next year, and they play in the USHL, that the development program, amongst other things. They go play European teams, and they are kind of a traveling, not road show, but they're a travel team basically. So that'll be interesting to see. Obviously that's not news. It's kind of old news, but what I did hear, or what I did see, is the OHL now is going to have their own top prospects game. That's January 15th. So that got announced October 30th. So a couple weeks ago. So that'd be interesting. So that's going to be 2 teams of just OHL draft eligibles. And then kind of the rumor is that the WHL and the Q are going to have their own as well, probably not till next season. So that's something to look out for.
What they need to do is drop that and just go back to good old all-star games.
Yeah.
Each league have their own all-star game, or have, like a legit all-star game where they do the skills competition before or the day before or whatever.
I
make it
remember
a
going to
weekend
one here.
Yeah.
It was
make it a weekend.
98 or something. Like, it was a long time ago.
It's been a while, yes. But go back to just have an all-star game. Let the prospects,
Prospects
do the
get run
scouts-
into the ground. Like,
do the scouts need to see them play that extra game or two? Like,
again, it's just a throw together team, and really, is the game that good, the player is probably going to play better on his club team, right? Like
Exactly.
with the team that he's been playing with all year, rather than just to throw these guys together for a night or two and here's 12 forwards, you guys figure it out and go out and play.
Exactly.
Right? And especially now that they're going to be playing a team that's been together for this is a second season, because the NDTP plays together for their 16-year-old and 17-year-old season. So it's a team that's been together a season and a half, basically.
Yeah,
So
and by the looks of things, it's a 2-game series.
Yeah, and so how well are the CHL players going to fare against a team that's, been together a year and a half? So it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, I skills competition and All-Star game would be all right too. That's more for the fans too, right?
It's more fun. Like let the kids have a break, give them a week off or 5 days off. Like the way the WHL scheduled is this year, like Moose Jaw and Swift Current didn't play this past weekend.
Yeah,
they don't play till
either night.
Yes, Moose Jaw or Swift Current they didn't play the whole weekend.
Jeez, it's interesting.
So like they give the kids a weekend off or whatever, let them go home, have an All-Star game, invite to whatever your best players from each team or whatever, have a skills competition, let them just relax, get together, have fun, let them cool their jets for a couple days instead of traveling all the way to Ontario or wherever from here. Like guys from the States or BC got to go to Ontario for this prospects game. I don't know who's going to get invited, but like seriously, doesn't make, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm traditionalist. I like the All-Star game.
Yeah. So, but anyways, with that, we should move on to our interview. We got Zach Moore. This was a really good interview. I'd only interviewed him like maybe once or twice, so I wasn't too sure what to expect. But he seemed comfortable. Like he didn't seem nervous at all. He's really outgoing. It was really good. So, but yeah, that it went well, I thought.
Yeah, it was nice sitting down chatting with them. We didn't know, like you said, we didn't know what to expect. I always talked to Dante before to see who would be good for a decent length interview and stuff like that, and he's pointing us in the right direction. And I think we've done pretty well so far this year.
Yeah,
and it was neat sitting down and chatting with them.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was good. So we'll listen to that now. All right, we're pleased to welcome on Zach Moore of your Regina Pats. Welcome, Zach.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
So, Zach, you were born and raised in Saskatoon.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have 2 younger siblings, 1 brother and 1 sister.
Are they into sports?
My brother's big into hockey. He plays for the River Kings in Saskatoon, which is AA, and my sister's a big dancer.
Nice.
Hockey. Every Canadian plays hockey, but when did you kind of start? When did you get into it? Young?
I mean, yeah, I kind of played since I was young. I think I started skating when I was 3 or 4 years old, and kind of just grew up around the game and kind of started falling in love with it when I was young. So I've kind of been playing my whole life, I'd say.
What other sports did you get into?
I played kind of everything. I was kind of a really outgoing kid through school. I played lacrosse for a couple years. I played baseball, basketball I was into. I did track and field, cross country, kind of did everything, kind of got a taste of what I liked and what I didn't like. So kind of played everything.
Are your parents influential in your hockey? Is your dad like a coach or anything like that, or mom a manager?
I'd say my uncles were my biggest, kind of got me into hockey. I mean, my mom's brother played for, he was a goalie with the Swift Current Broncos, so he kind of got me into hockey. But my mom was probably the main person who got me into all the sports I did. Growing up, she played kind of high-end soccer, so she was always athletic, and kind of that got brought on to me. So that's kind of how I got into sports in the first place.
Nice. Who's your uncle?
Travis Yonkman is his name.
Oh, okay. I remember Travis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good goalie.
Yeah. He was a good goalie.
Oh, yeah.
Played for the wrong team, though.
Yeah, no kidding. But just kind of with him, too, he won the Max tournament in midget with the contact. So when I was playing there, that's kind of the team I wanted to play for, just kind of follow in his footsteps, which
nice.
I thought was kind of cool. So
Yeah. So none of the other sports interest you as much as hockey did?
I mean, like I still love all sports. Like when I'm not at the rink playing hockey, I'm watching basketball, I'm watching baseball. You know, I kind of keep up with everything, but hockey's just the main sport that I kind of just fell in love with, honestly. Like I just wanted to be at the rink all the time, and still that's the case. Like I'm one of the first guys into the room and stuff like that, so kind of just fell in love with hockey the most.
So have you always been a forward?
Yeah, I've always been a forward. I think when I was really young, I tried playing goalie a couple times, but I mean, that never worked out well, and I know my parents didn't want me to play, so yeah. But for the most part, I always grew up playing forward.
Nice.
Too expensive to play goalie, hey?
Oh, yeah, crazy, and just gotta love scoring goals, so
That's good.
yeah, that's what I did.
Who was your favorite player, like as a little kid when you were growing up?
Who did you want to be when you were little?
That's a good question. I think it's kind of an obvious answer, but I grew up just kind of falling in love with Sidney Crosby. I mean, standard answer for any Canadian, but I mean, I actually used to live in Regina, and when I would go back and forth from Regina and Saskatoon, and when I would do that, I would watch like Sidney Crosby's documentary. I'd probably watch it 6 or 7 times a day, but just like falling in love with like him playing for Canada, playing for Pittsburgh. He just an all-time great, so I kind of fell in love with him.
So who do you emulate your game after? Who do you pattern your game after?
Now.
Yeah, now.
Now, yeah, that's also a good question. I mean, it's hard to pick one guy, but
Or a couple, or
you know, yeah. I mean, I always try and like. You watch hockey, you get bits and pieces from every player, but I mean, one guy I love to try and take a lot from would be Nathan McKinnon. Just kind of his power, his speed. You know, he plays the game the right way. He can get physical. Like, he kind of does it all. So I mean, to take parts of that, like bits and pieces from his game, I think is one of the guys that I really watch.
So who's your favorite NHL team?
My favorite NHL team for pretty much my whole life has been the Chicago Blackhawks. I kind of grew up, I met Jonathan Toews one time, and he just seemed like a great captain, great role model. So my whole kind of life I've been looking up to him, like Patrick Kane, that kind of whole dynasty. So I've been following them for my whole life pretty much.
Nice.
So you played all your minor hockey in Regina or Saskatoon, or was there any in Regina? You said you were down here.
No, I played when I was really young. I played in Regina.
Oh, okay.
Like wouldn't even be able to remember it. But yeah, my whole minor hockey career, I played in Saskatoon.
What's your favorite memory? Was there a bus trip or a road trip or a game?
I'd say my favorite. I got two. So growing up, I played for the brick team, the junior Pats brick team. Like Brad Haroff coached me, so, and that was a great tournament. Just getting that experience, you know, you see all these players, Celebrini, like guys like that you get to play against, and just to be able to play against them, I mean, it was a great experience for me. And then I think my other big one, when I was in bantam hockey with the Stallions, we won the Graham Tour.
Here.
Right in Regina, which was, I mean, I'll never forget it. We won the game in overtime, and I scored the first goal to open up the game, and that was a great experience, great team. So that's kind of a memory I'll never forget.
I think most guys, I've heard you interview some other teams and stuff, and most guys that play in that brick tournament, you know, played at the West End Mall, that's like their number one, you know, memory of just being able to play at the mall and all this, and you see all the fans there and stuff. And
It's a great time. And then, I mean, at the end of the tournament, you do a jersey swap, you find guys from even like the different countries, like just it's a crazy experience that I think will stick with me the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So fast forwarding a little bit, on Bantam Draft Day, what were you doing? Were you in school? Were you following the draft online?
Oh, I mean, I'm a huge stats guy. Like I'm always looking at stats and stuff. But I told my family, I'm like, hey, I can't go to school today. Like, I'm too nervous. I won't be able to do any work or anything. So I stuck at home. My stepdad and my grandpa were home. My mom had to go to work, so my stepdad and my grandpa were at home with me, and we just had our laptop on the kitchen counter, and just every pick we watched just tick by, and you know, it's that's what we did. And
So did you have any inclination roughly where in the draft you would go? And maybe, obviously, you had lots of teams talk to you. You had any inclination who was going to take you, or you just kind of no idea?
I kind of went into it not really like expecting anything. I talked to a lot of teams. I'd say the team I talked to most would have been Portland. So I thought they had a pick coming up, and I thought maybe that would have been the spot I landed. But I didn't really go into the draft with any certain spot that I was gonna go.
How did it feel to get picked by Saskatoon?
I mean, it was kind of surreal experience. Like, just in the moment, you're kind of just happy to get picked, honestly. But then it kind of sank in, like, oh, like, I get to stay at home. Like, I don't have to move 12, 16 hours away. So, I mean, it's kind of an experience that not many people get to go through. So, I mean, it was an awesome experience.
Were you a Blades fan growing up?
I was. I went to a lot of games. When I was younger, for sure, I kind of grew up at the SaskTel Center and just watching games. So I think that's another big reason that got me into hockey. So yeah, I guess I did grow up as a Blades fan.
So what did it feel like to step on the ice at the SaskTel Center as a Saskatoon Blade?
I mean, it's kind of an experience you can't really even explain. Like, you grow up watching all these guys, you think they're pro players, like they're the real deal. So kind of growing up, and then you finally get to do that, it's like, okay, like this is real, like I'm here. But just trying to make the best experience, have a good time, and put in the work, and maybe the next step will be the NHL. You never know. So just kind of growing up and seeing those guys, and then you become them. It's a cool experience.
At what point did you think you could play at the WHL level? Like, obviously it's a goal for most kids, right? But at what point did you think, yeah, that's a legitimate goal that I want to be there?
I think the real turning point was when our COVID year hit. So in COVID, I was playing with the Stallions in Bantam, and I played with some good players, guys like Roger McQueen, played with guys like them, and started producing points. And then when we couldn't play hockey, I think that's when I really said, hey, like, I can do this. Like, if I put my mind to it, I can do this. So, I mean, when other kids are playing video games in their room, I think I was in fields, like, doing extra workouts. I was taking shots. I was doing all the little things. So that's when I really think I said to myself, like, hey, like, I can do this.
So what were your thoughts on when you got traded to Regina? Like, what were your initial thoughts? Were you excited, happy for the change, or were you...
I mean, it's all hard to say, because you never know with a trade. So, I mean, when I got told, I was shocked for sure. Like, I was like, okay, like, this is happening. It took a couple days for sure to process, but when it really sank in, like, okay, like, I'm going to a new team, going to a new place, I mean, I was excited. You get opportunity for sure in Regina, and to have that opportunity, I just was kind of thinking to myself, like, hey, like, let's make the most of this. Like, let's really show people, like, who you are and what you can do. So I was super excited. I mean, it's hard moving away for the first time after living with your family your whole life. So that was a bit of an adjustment I had to make. But no, it was for sure excitement.
At least you're close. You're not 14, 16, 20 hours away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my family can come down every other weekend or whenever they get the chance. So it's nice to be that close that they can just drive down.
Yeah.
You're playing with a few Saskatoon guys that you used to play with back when you were younger. How did that feel to come into a room that you kind of knew some guys? I
mean, it's cool to be able to, like, make that jump to the next level and still have guys that you grew up playing with. I mean, we had our battles back when we were playing against each other, but no, to have that chemistry, to know them already, you see them when you're skating in the summer and stuff like that. So it's a cool experience to be able to play with those guys that I live with back home.
What do you do off ice? You're into other sports too, and do whatever. What do you do to relax, kind of get away from the hockey a little bit?
I mean, I kind of do what most guys do. I think. I mean, I go home. I do it like at the rink. I do what I need to do, like recover stuff like that. But at home, I'm kind of keep it simple. I'll FaceTime my friends back home. I'll watch sports games. I'll watch NHL games. Just kind of like that. I'll play volleyball with my billet sister, stuff like that. So I just kind of keep it simple. I mean, I don't do anything that's out of the ordinary, I'd say. But yeah, just kind of relax, take care of my body, stuff like that.
Are you a TV watcher or movie watcher?
I wouldn't really. I'm not into movies. I just can't sit down for 2 hours or whatever and just get into a movie. But I do like TV series. I'll watch whatever 1 or 2 episodes a day. Like I like The Office. It's kind of just relaxing, nothing really going on, just kind of background noise almost. But I just can't get into movies.
Fair enough. Any pregame or intermission routine superstitions?
Oh man, I'm the most. I have the exact same routine I eat the exact same thing every day. Like everything I do is routine based. So, I mean, from putting on my equipment a certain way to the way I tape my sticks, the music I listen to, it's all always the same thing. So yeah, I'm a pretty superstitious guy, I'd say.
What kind of music do you like?
I kind of like everything. Like, I'm the only thing I won't listen to is like heavy metal where it's just like they're screaming at you. But I'm a big fan. I love country music. I like hip hop. But for the most part, I'll listen to pretty much anything.
Your tape job, heel to toe, total heel, white, black. What do you do? Change it up once in a while, or you do that routine?
Last year is when I'm always heel to toe, always have been, but when I was younger, I was always black, just black. I wouldn't change it. I would end it. I would never like tape it past my toe and cut it, but I was always just black. And then last year when I first got here, I'm like, okay, I'm making a change of teams. Like let's change everything up. Like let's start fresh here. So I'm like, okay, let's go. I'll keep going heel to toe, but I'll cover my full toe. I'll change it to white tape. So I mean, and it was working for me, so I kind of stuck with that now. But I'm kind of open to anything.
Jersey preference. Do you like the traditional blue and whites, or do you like the alternate white and reds?
I'm a huge fan of our traditional jerseys. I mean, play back to my old story about playing in the brick. Those are the jerseys I had, so
oh, yeah.
I always loved those. But when I first came here, the first game I played, our jerseys were the red ones, and I absolutely loved them. Like I'll tell anyone, I think they're the best jerseys in the entire league. Like I love them. I think they're the coolest. Like you got that popping red color. So I love those jerseys too, but I think if I had to pick, I'd go back to the traditional colors.
On the bus, what's your kind of favorite activity? You're not a movie guy, so what are you getting into the cards and stuff?
I'm a huge card guy. Yeah. Me and my billet brother, like John Babcock, we love cards. He'll bring his cribbage board and we'll play crib some rides, but also I am the biggest sleeper ever. Like I'll bring my pillow and I will just be out as soon as the bus gets going. So I'm a huge napper, which is kind of boring, but I mean that's it gets me ready for games. So I like to do that.
Recharges the battery a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
You got lots of time on the bus, lots of late nights, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Some people can't sleep in the car, right?
Yeah,
so.
and going back and forth from Regina to Saskatoon, I think I was almost trained to sleep in the car, so I think I kind of took that with me. But I'm always sleeping. I'll be on the floor. I'll bring a mat and my pillow, and I'll just be on the floor sleeping.
One more question before we wrap it up. What does it mean to you to play for the Regina Pats?
I mean, it's everything. It's every kid's dream. You see kids come into the games. You see them cheering. It's kind of every kid's dream to play in the WHL. I believe it's the best junior league in the world. So, I mean, to play in that league and be a part of a team that cares for you, I mean, I think it's everything. It's a part of who I am. So, to be able to do that, come to the rink every day, it's something special that I'd like to take advantage of every single day.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Appreciate you coming
Yeah,
on.
it's awesome.
All right, yeah, like I said, that was a great interview. One other note, kind of forgot to mention while we are talking about the Vaughn situation. We did put out Alan Miller's interview with Dante in the feed. So if you didn't see that, or if you don't listen, or you don't have the subscription, you're not subscribed or whatever, you should subscribe. But you can go find it.
Yes, subscribe.
Yeah.
Please do.
Like, share, whatever you say. But tell a friend.
Tell lots of friends.
Yeah, no doubt. We enjoy doing these interviews, especially with the players. So hopefully you guys are enjoying them. And yeah. But yeah, it's there in our feed, in the podcast feed, and obviously it's on the Twitter and the Facebook and stuff, and the Spotify link is there. So if you want to go listen,
So if you want to hear what he had to say right from Al Miller's mouth, have a listen.
Yeah, so it's there.
And like you said earlier, it was nice to see the transparency, or to hear the transparency.
Yeah,
like a lot of teams make
just
moves,
shove this stuff under the rug, and
make moves. Stuff happens, and too bad, so sad. But I think a lot of the stuff that's been online, they just wanted to clear the air.
That too, yeah, right.
And I thought it cleared the air pretty well, in my opinion. But
no more details need to be said, and no more details need to be known. So
exactly,
it's their lives. People in the public don't need to know what's actually like going on day to day. Like, so. But with that said, we should get out of here. I guess we didn't really touch on the games ahead, but we know Tri-City's hot coming in, and then
they're not that hot now. Did they lose two? They lost back to back. They lost back to back.
I know they lost in PA.
I'm pretty sure they lost back to back.
Okay, well, they'll be real hungry when they come to Regina.
It's kind of scary.
I know they played the night before somewhere else. I can't remember, but
they lost to Saskatoon on Saturday.
Okay, so and then they play Tuesday night somewhere, and then they're Wednesday night here in Regina, and then the Pats are off to Swift Current and PA on the weekend. So a couple games, that'll be tougher. PA starting to come on, like I said. Swift Current's has been a tough
Tri-City's in Swift Current on Tuesday before they come here. So
there you go. So
hopefully they'll be a little tired, and the Pats will have their game back to where it could be. Hopefully.
But yeah, with that, we'll get out of here and see you guys at the rink.
Have a good one.
Babcock in the middle, into the Brandon zone. Just inside the line. Now hands it off to Temple. Right side, he cuts in front. He shoots and it's blocked. Gets his own rebound in front. Shot scores! Ty Spencer! And this 8-game losing streak